Welcome to the Crazy Blessed Show. I am your host, Hannah Keeley, and I know you're going to be blessed like crazy today because it's a Monday. Isn't every Monday amazing, right? We have totally changed the definition of Monday. This is where we get excited because every Monday is Master Mom Monday. And we always have a mom on the Crazy Blessed Show who is really showing how an ordinary mom can get extraordinary results. And today we have Bonnie Dueck, a mom who is not just changing her life, but has changed the life of people all over the world. You're going to love to hear her story. Well, welcome, Bonnie. I'm so excited you're here today. I just have been wanting to bring you to all of the viewers here on the Crazy Blessed Show because I love you and I love your story. So I know everyone else is going to as well. So tell us a little bit about you, what you do, who you are. Bring us up to speed.
Okay, well, I am a married wife of almost 20 years now, actually, and I've got 3 children, and I am currently raising my grandson. In addition to that, I'm a stay-at-home life coach. That's what I do, and so I have all of this time now to spend with my husband, with my grandson, with my kids, and helping women around the world change their lives. That's what I do.
You literally are helping women around the world, like in other countries, change their lives. It is such a beautiful thing to see. But let's go back. I mean, we've been together forever, girl, but let's go back. And what was your life like before you found out about Mom Master University?
Okay, well, that would have been just around 5 years ago. I know. I look back.
Okay.
5 years ago, and I look back and I don't recognize who I used to be. My life is so different. So different. So
well, you got to tell me about that. Like, don't leave me hanging. Like, how is it different? What was your life like?
Well, back then I worked 2 full-time jobs and I went to school part-time. And my house was a disaster. No, about 2-3 hours a night.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
My house was a disaster. I probably hadn't had company in about 10 years because I justified it by I needed projects to keep, to do something to make me feel alive.
Right.
But I actually figured out through Mom Master University that what I was actually doing was filling my house full so I had an excuse not to have people over. Wow. So that I wouldn't be rejected.
Yeah. It always goes back to a thought. Always goes back to a belief, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just worked and worked and worked, and I just felt like my job is never done. I could never relax. I could never rest. And it was just go, 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 go. And I used to say, I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead, because it was just never done.
Oh my word. What was your health like? Like, you weren't sleeping. What was your health like? What was your body like?
Oh, I was so overweight and I just ate whatever. And I mean, honestly, a big part of the problem of the mess in my house was I was just too busy to do laundry. I would just literally go buy something.
Wow. So you're spending money.
Yeah. Couldn't figure out why I was so broke. But I mean, I would literally didn't have time to change. So I mean, I'd literally stop at the store on my way from one job to the next to grab something to change into and something to eat. And just, I just was not taking care of myself at all.
Oh my gosh. Oh my word. That is, a lot of moms are living like that though, Bonnie. Like we talk about inside MMU, we talk about totem pole syndrome, where you're the last one on the totem pole. And so all the pressure of the job and raising the kids and taking care of everything, the last person you take care of is you. So here you are overweight, you're exhausted, you're working your butt off. It seems like you're just not making any traction. You're just not making any progress at all.
Yeah. And one of the worst things is that I had very severe procrastination paralysis, and perfectionism paralysis. Like, it was like, I'll do it later, or it needs to be done perfect, or I can't do it now. And so the college courses that I was taking, I mean, I spent 4 years doing the first half, the first 9 of 18 courses. And then I joined Mom Master University kind of as like a little birthday gift to myself. It was like, well, the money back guarantee for the first month. And I'm like, okay, it's a freebie. I know I'll pay I'll get my 30 days and then I'll get my money back. Right. Or maybe if it's really good, then maybe my husband will let me have it for my birthday presents. Right. Like, you know,
Yeah. So
hurt,
did he
right?
even know you enrolled in Mom Master University?
No, I did not. Oh my word. No, I did not tell him. I did not tell him until after. It was about a few days before my birthday. And he asked, "Oh, honey, what do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, "Have you noticed a change?" And he goes, "Yeah." He says, "You're more like the woman I thought I married." And I'm like, "Oh." And he's like, and I'm like, "So I've been doing this thing." And he goes, "Whatever you're doing." He says, "I don't care what it costs, $65 a month, $65,000 a month. I don't care. I've got my wife back." And he was just over the moon because I was making changes and he could see the joy in my life and that I was starting to get things done. So, I mean, I joined my mastery April 7th. And before December of that year, I finished the second half of my course and graduated.
Oh my goodness. So here you were,
honors.
you were like not making any progress for years and years. You joined and within months you complete it with honors.
Yeah.
That is so, Bonnie, like so many times when they're like, well, I don't have time to get inside Mom Master University and get my training. They don't realize like, no, this will actually open up all the time. You can actually become 10 times more productive when you start developing the skill set. And so you're just like living evidence of that. I didn't know that happened with your courses. I mean, I saw the dramatic change in you. Like I saw like you literally like morphed into this other woman within months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the changes in me, a lot of people saw the outward changes. They saw my physical health change. They saw how I ate, that it changed. They saw the way that I spoke to people change. My focus on pinching every penny, that changed. I mean, when I remember panicking over the price going up $2 and I wanted to upgrade to the higher, the VIP level, and it was going to be $2 more than it would have been if I'd done it the month before. And I remember going, $2, that's a lot of money. In a year, that's like $24 American, and I live in Canada. So that's like a whole 35, right? Oh my word. I mean, now it's like investment. I look at that and I'm just like, who was that woman?
Who was that woman who was freaking out about $2? Someone free, and now you're like investing in yourself.
Yeah.
That is so powerful.
But it was $2 compared to how much was I throwing away at Giant Tiger buying an outfit instead of doing laundry? Right? Like the comparison.
Yeah, we don't look at the cost of anxiety. There was another mom who talked about that they went over their budget. And her husband's like, well, can you drop Mom Master University? Because it's just one more expense. And she's like, okay, I'll do that for you. And within about 6 months, he said, look, can you get back inside MMU? Because the spending you're doing as a result of not having like that community and that training, he said, we can't afford that. Like get back inside Mom Master University. But that's exactly what you discovered.
Yeah, exactly. But, honestly, all of those changes, they're the smallest changes.
Tell us about the biggest changes.
The biggest changes has been my faith. So I went from feeling like I had to do it all. And it's like, I did believe in God and I was a Christian and I trusted him, but I only trusted him with a certain amount. It was sort of like, I trust you, but I've got to do the work and then you'll bless it. Right. And it was really this place of striving and just really not sure if he would do it for me. Like I knew he answered other people's prayers and I knew he'd answered some of my prayers, but it was like, almost like I couldn't fully just like free fall and let go. I couldn't just like fully trust him. I couldn't speak in confidence that, oh, God will take care of it. Don't you worry. He's got it. Right. Because in the back of my mind was like, but what if he doesn't?
Right.
And that's the thing that changed.
How did that change for you? Like, how did your faith change? Is that one of the tracks that you started with was faith or where did you start? Okay. So how did that change your faith?
It wasn't just my faith. It changed my faith in everything, in everything. Like, I can just do and be, and I'm okay, and just let go, and I can trust God. So I'm going to give you a really tangible example of just how far I've come. So back then I was working all the jobs because, you know, I had to work one job because I didn't know if I get enough hours at the second job, and I was trying to get permanent there. And then I was going to school part-time online so that I could get the accreditation so they could hire me, right? Right. So that was all going on. It was like I'm not sure, so I need to do more. Meanwhile, I was probably spending as much or more than I was making. Now it's like I left my job in June, right? And I'm just trusting God. And it's like, he's bringing me clients. And this last fall, for the first time, it was like, God told me, he told me a year ago, clean your house.
Okay.
2 years ago, I was in San Diego with you, and you had given us this offer, this amazing offer, and I really wanted to do it. FOMO, that was me. I don't want to miss out. Want to do it now. FOMO was like the huge thing. And I didn't want to miss out. And I heard God tell me, go home, clean your house first.
Okay, beautiful. Obedience always. Like, he desires obedience over sacrifice. We don't have to know what's on the other side of that either. We just know, okay, I'm going to obey.
Yeah. And so I said, okay, well, I'm doing it next time. And I was thinking next time was next year. You know, September. Next September. I'll do it next September. You know, September 2020. That's when I'll do this thing that I wanted to do. So I went home and I hired the cleaner and I cleaned my house. And I found out that my daughter was expecting and needed a place to stay. And now I'm raising my grandson. And it's like, if I hadn't obeyed then, right?
Yeah. Right.
I wouldn't have been able to take them in.
No, God always can see down the road. And that's why obedience is so necessary. Like, when God says, do it, we don't have to say, well, God, if you could give me a little more information. No, just do it, because he is preparing you for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So now you were able to give her a place to live. Now you have this amazing grandson in your life. What a beautiful blessing that is.
Oh, such a joy. Such a joy. And
oh my goodness.
Then he told me to renovate my house. And
wow.
So here I am. I've got all of the things, you know, I'm not an empty nester anymore. I've got kids at home and a grandson, and I start renovating, and I'm working at home. He's told me to leave my job. I'm working at home just as a coach. And I don't mean just as a coach, but as a coach. But I mean, I only work 2 hours this week. And it's like, he'll provide. Don't worry about it. Just do it.
That's
do the
so
renovations.
good.
Yep. And so I start doing the renovations, and then bang, right in the middle of it, it's like, I find out that my parents are both in the hospital with COVID.
Yeah.
They tell me
So let's,
not going to make it.
I want to talk about that. So here you are. You've been in Mom Master University for years. You've got your faith training down. I don't know what other pillars you tackle. Did you do like freedom for emotions and things like that?
Those were the first two I did. Yeah. Freedom and faith were the first two I did, but I have done all of them actually. And now I'm just going back and redoing them.
Isn't it fun? Because when you go back and you redo a try, it's like, wait, is this the same material? Because you become a different person. It's like you listen at a whole different level, but you went through this training. So now your faith is built up. You understand how to operate in faith. So when you get this news that your mom and your dad have COVID, I remember that day, and you sent a message into our team here and into all the moms inside MMU. And we just like stood with you in that moment. What was that like?
You know, at the moment when I heard about it, it was like making the decision that I'm going to go and be there with my family, because I knew I couldn't go into the hospital and I knew I couldn't go see them. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go. Like, I don't know how bad they have it. I just knew they were in the hospital, right? And I'm like, I'm going to go. And I remember going, and there's like, I'm from a pretty big family. And one of the biggest things is I was just at peace. No matter what happens, if God takes them both, or if he doesn't, I'm fine with it.
Wow.
I was at total peace, but it was like, I don't think he's finished with them yet. And so I've been praying in confidence for a miracle that God would heal them both.
Right.
Now,
right. And we've been standing with you in that.
Right.
Like we are standing, like we were speaking out, healing over your parents. And also we were really praying over supernatural peace over you and your sisters too in this time.
Yeah, because my sisters are also inside MMU as well.
Right.
So, my mom is too. So I go out there and I'm totally at peace because I have nothing left unsaid. Every time I see them, I treat it as if I know it could be the last, because every single time you see anybody, it could be the last. We're not promised tomorrow. Right. And so it's like, having been inside MMU and having learned all the things that I've learned, I've been able to heal a lot of the relationships in my family. Yeah. Not just with my parents who were going through COVID, but also with my daughter who hadn't talked to me for a whole year and had been barely in my life for about 5 years. And I talk to her like every day.
Oh, that's so
right?
Beautiful, Bonnie. That is incredible. That healing. Like when you get down to it at the end of our life, it's going to be the relationships, that those people that we shared life with. And here you were estranged from your daughter. And now she's a part of your life every single day.
Yeah.
And also healing of those relationships in your family where there was trauma, where there was hurt, total healing that came out of this. Praise God.
So, I mean, I went to see my family to support them. And it was like everybody was asking for their turn to talk to Dad. And just before they put him on the trach, and I remember saying to my sister, I'm really good with whatever happens. I'm really at peace. And my dad said to me on our last call, and I mean, we didn't know if it was going to be the last time, because they say 85% of the people at his age who are ventilated don't make it. Wow. So I didn't know the last conversation with him. But he said to me, he says, we're all good.
So beautiful.
That's what he said to me in our last conversation that we had before he went on the ventilator 56 days ago. And yesterday, I've been praying and believing for a miracle because I knew God wasn't done with him.
Amen.
And yesterday, I called him on the phone, and he's on a tracheostomy. He's on a speaker tube. And I talked to my dad. And he told me things from when I was a little girl that I didn't even know, special moments, memories that he had. And it was just so beautiful. And I told him, I'm like, Dad, we've been praying for you. I have thousands of people around the world praying for you because, being part of my master university, guess what? We're all around the world, and all my sisters are praying with me. And
that's right. You've got like sisters all over the world. It's so cool. Like no matter where you travel, it's like, hey, I can stay at one of my sister's houses. It's cool. We're all connected.
Oh yeah. I've got some open invitations to Scotland and New Zealand and some other countries. So yeah, I plan on going once the pandemic's done. But yeah, it was so amazing. And I told my dad this, and he teared up. That means so much to me. So for me, it was the never having the despair, the moments of despair, like this is it. Like I can't lose my dad, right? I look back at who I would have been and how I would have handled all of this. The COVID, the pandemic, the changing my job, the uncertainty, being disrupted in the middle of, renovations. I still don't have a bathroom sink. I'll get one eventually. I know I will.
My bathroom is coming. Thank you, Jesus.
I got a bathtub and a toilet, and I got a kitchen sink. I'm good, right? And it's just that ability to just take things in stride and that peace, and to just look and focus on where I am right now. Before MMU, I was so focused with filling every single part of my life as full as possible because I didn't want to miss out. So it was, rescuing trash from the garbage, probably because that's how I felt about myself, to fix it up. It was filling my house so full that I could hardly move. and just busy, busy, busy. There wasn't a moment to think or, have any peace. And I mean, God has shown me in this last year that there's so much beauty to be had in the spaces. And I'm just been working on creating space in my life. And so this fall, when I was creating space for, I didn't know for what, but I just felt him saying, big space. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm making space. I'm not filling my life full of clients. I'm not pushing hard, doing 40 million things. I'm just being where I am, just being where I am, doing what he's asked me to do right now. It's created so many opportunities for me to speak life into people. It's given me opportunities to hear what he's telling me to do. And then when my parents were in the hospital, it was a no-brainer. I didn't worry about the money for the flight, which I would have before. I just was like, I didn't worry about how I was going to do anything. I just like, hey, I'm coming out. What do you need me to bring? Good. You got a place to put me? And I just went, and I was wherever I was needed. I just was. And I didn't worry about it.
You're totally present. And there's so much power there in being totally present. And I think that's the one, I call it like time zone. We have this like time zone problem. Moms are either freaking out about their past and regret and remorse, or we're freaking out about our future with fear and anxiety, but being able to just be totally present. And that's a skill you learned inside MMU, and it's blessing you. But also the way, just this idea that God looked down the road and he said, hey, Bonnie, I'm going to do a work in you. And if you will just agree with me and get inside and let me do this work with you, when this happens down the road, you're going to be so prepared for it. And actually, I truly believe that the healing, what happened in your dad, I just believe that healing was a result of you standing in faith, surrounded with faith warriors who are like, no, we're going to stand with you. And we've got to have that today. We don't know, just like you said, we don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know where we're headed. Like, we can see in God's word where we're headed with his promises and his glory and all of his abundance, but we don't know what's going to be thrown in our path. And if we're like, it's too late when the enemy is breaking into your home, it's too late to learn how to protect it. Like, you've got to learn that now. And you did.
And I still am. I'm still in my mastery university, like all the time, because it's like, it would be like saying, oh, I finished reading the Bible. Guess don't need to read that again.
Now volume 2. Okay. Yeah, man, it is just a treasure. The more you dig, the more you find, right? It's so beautiful. And it has changed your life. And what I want to highlight to people who are watching and listening right now is the lives that you have changed, Bonnie. Like, we'll be at, Mom Mastery Experience, and people are just like, man, Bonnie just changed my life. Bonnie, like, you're always there for these moms. And just like you're always there for these moms were there for you. That's just the community that we have. Mm-hmm. But you are just championing this cause and helping so many people. I just want you to know that you may have started Mom Mastery University for you, but what you're doing is for so many other people. And I know we have to wrap up soon, but I want to ask you, like, you have such a beautiful way of communicating and honoring people and seeing potential in everyone. And I'm thinking there are some moms who are watching or listening, and they see themselves as how you were, like struggling. There's not enough time, just living in clutter maybe, but basically just feeling that constant pressure where you were. And they're thinking, I don't know, maybe MMU could help me. What would you say to them?
Oh, I would say, honey, you need it. If you could see yourself 5 years in the future, like seeing myself where I am now, to back to when I first joined and thought, there's no way I can't afford it. Maybe I'll just get the free month, like get my money back, You can't put a price tag on how much it's changed my life. The peace that I have, the confidence that I have, the ability to have friendships. I mean, we've paid off over $80,000 in debt, and I'm renovating my bathroom. and I'm
wait,
like,
wait, hold on. Wait, stop. Just stop, Bonnie. Just stop. Like, you can't say something and pass it on. Oh, we paid off $80,000 of debt. Like, that is so powerful. And sometimes women are like, well, as soon as I get out of debt, I'll invest in myself. When that's backwards. Like, you invest in yourself and get the skills. And then just like you went on to pay off $80,000 of debt. That's incredible.
More than that. Yeah, that. And I mean, I got a new computer because I needed one, and I'm renovating my bathroom. We had a house fire too. I didn't even mention that. I had a house fire, and it was blessing after blessing after blessing. But that's what being inside Mom Mastery University has helped me see. Blessing comes from things that everyone else thinks is bad, right? Everyone else thinks COVID is bad. Well, COVID enabled me to be home with my family and focus on what's important. It enabled me to heal relationships and communicate with people on a regular daily basis that I wouldn't have been able to as much pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Right?
So good.
My mom almost every day. When was the last time she doesn't live here in the same city as me. So it's, it's like I actually have to call a different time zone and whatever. But, it's created this closeness within my siblings, just COVID. And that's just one tiny little thing. Went from working all, at a job and coming home and trying to, cook supper and do all that to working at home and just being. And it's like, who can I bless today? Instead of this focus on me, and I need more. So, it's just changed everything. The piece I have, if you could bottle it and sell it, well, you can. It's called MMU.
I'm gonna have to use that somewhere, like a bottle of Bonnie. It's called MMU. I love it.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, if you could bottle the piece that I've been able to have and sell it, it's like MMU. That's what it is. You invest, and it's not just MMU. It's MMU teaches you how to come alongside other women, face your fears, face your struggles, let it out, and just work through one thing at a time. Like the past 5 years of my life, you could look at it like climbing Mount Everest. How on earth would I have ever done that? I could look at the top of Mount Everest and go, wow, that's really high. But see, what MMU did was it equipped me with what I needed to get through the next step. And I just needed to focus on this step in front of me. And the person I am now is not the person I was 5 years ago.
So beautiful, Bonnie, so beautiful. I am so grateful that you were able to come on the show and share your story. And I want to tell people, like, before we wrap this up, that what you said about taking the next step. Like, a lot of times we do look at this mountain of what the life that we dream of having, and we say, gosh, is that even attainable? Is it, or should I just quit dreaming? But all we have to do is take that very next step. And that is we're always able to do that. And sometimes that next step just looks like saying yes and getting enrolled. And it changed your life. Praise God.
I'm in it for life.
And I am so glad that that God saw fit to join us together and just be a part of this. You're changing lives now inside Mom Mastery University and all over the world. And I'm so grateful that we got to share this time together, because it has truly been a blessing. And if you find yourself like Bonnie, just maybe you're not working 2 jobs, but maybe it's just the pressure. Maybe you're struggling. What if that huge Mount Everest, what if all you had to do is take that next step? You take that next step, you're going to be blessed like crazy.